It's time for another Good Luck High Five Top 10 Worst Rares video.
All right, so we are here with the top 10 worst rares to open in your pre-release this weekend. And you know, these are some of the best worst rares.
Yeah.
We say it every time now.
Yeah.
But the caliber of worst rare only keeps rising.
I know, it's like they are listening to these videos and thinking, we better up our game.
Exactly, yeah. And this isn't just applicable for the pre-release.
Yeah.
You know, these are any sealed event.
Yep.
It's not as true for draft.
Not as true for
some
draft.
of the things that we're going to talk about are build-around rares, which you're way more likely to be able to do in draft, but in sealed, they're usually going to be kind of a bummer because you probably won't have enough support to make them happen.
Yeah, absolutely. So keep that in mind, everybody. We're not talking about any constructed format here today. We're just talking about specifically sealed.
That's right.
Okay, we're also not going to live in magical Christmas land, all right?
Nope. So first up is Curse of Shaken Faith.
Yeah, 1 in a red for an enchantment or a curse at rare. Enchant player, whenever enchanted player casts a spell other than the first spell they cast each turn or copies a card, Curse of Shaken Faith deals 2 damage to them.
Yeah, not just copies a card, because that would hit clones. This is copies a spell.
A spell.
So if they're cloning something, it doesn't care.
Yeah.
This is just... It just is a bummer.
It's a real bummer because your opponent, so you're cursing your opponent with this, obviously. They can just be like, okay, I make the decision, right?
Exactly. Either I can afford to take 2 damage right now to cast a second spell, or I don't want to, or I'll just wait.
Yeah, so like giving your opponent the decision, putting it in their hands is never something you want to do.
Never a good idea.
No.
So, and in this case, it's just sort of a bummer. Next up is another curse.
Ooh.
Yeah, Curse of Silence.
This one's somehow even worse.
Yes, it really is. Single white for an enchantment or a curse. Enchant player. As Curse of Silence enters the battlefield, choose a card name. Spells with the chosen name enchanted player casts cost 2 more to cast. Whenever enchanted player casts a spell with the chosen name, you may sacrifice Curse of Silence. If you do, draw a card.
Okay, you don't even get to look at their hand.
No, you just have to pick.
You just have to just guess.
So especially in limited, it's not like there's a standard deck. They're playing like a known constructed deck and you're like, I know what the key cards are in this deck and I can name them. You're gonna be like, they're on green. Maybe I'll just pick a green card and hope.
Even if they have some busted card that you don't want to play it against in game 2, imagine they don't draw it and you have this card.
You spent a card to
do nothing.
Or even that, like, it doesn't stop them from casting it.
No, they just pay it.
It makes it cost 2 more.
They just pay it.
They just pay it.
And then you're like, I guess I sacrificed this to replace this card, but like I should have just replaced it when I built my deck.
There you go.
Next up, we've got Dire Strain Rampage.
Yes, this is 1 red-green for a sorcery. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or land. If a land was destroyed this way, its controller may search their library for up to 2 basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Otherwise, its controller may search their library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. So like...
It's got flashback.
It has flashback, which a lot of these cards in this set, we were like, we can't put usually this would be a worst rare, except you can cast it twice.
Yeah.
So now at least it's better.
Yeah, flashback really helps out cards in this set.
It really does.
In this case, this is kind of bizarre. I don't want to be casting this.
No, and you're gonna be like, what if they have a great artifact or enchantment? Okay.
I mean, sure.
And you happen to be in red-green, despite this being one of your real bummer rares.
Yeah, and then they also get something for doing it.
Yes.
They get lands. You could do it to yourself, I suppose, if you really want to. But I don't know if this set you really want to be messing around like that.
Yeah, you're like, okay, you ramp a little, but
yeah.
You paid 3 mana to ramp a little. Ooh.
If you're like playing big boom boom fatties, I guess you could do that, but
still, like, you spent a card to do that.
This set is not really about that either.
Card.
You're just playing werewolves in red green, and like those aren't that expensive.
Exactly. Next up, we have Falconrath Pit Fighter.
I love this card for constructed.
Yes, Maria, you're gonna be a big fan, but not when you open it in your sealed pool.
No.
Single red for a creature vampire warrior. It's a 2/1. 1 in a red, discard a card, sacrifice a vampire, draw 2 cards. Activate only if an opponent lost life this turn.
This is what we call a high setup cost, everybody. Okay.
That was a lot of work you did to draw. You got rid of 2 cards, one of which you already spent mana on.
Yes.
To draw 2 cards.
And you can only activate it if your opponent lost life this turn. Which, you know, hopefully they did.
Hopefully you're attacking with your Pit Fighter and other vamps, and like, again, like, you're sacrificing a vampire, so you had to have already like a high bar of vampires in your deck.
You gotta have a lot of vamps.
Drawn them. You have to be willing to sacrifice, again, a vampire you already spent mana to cast and is already on the battlefield to draw these 2 cards. No.
Yeah, you've got to be all in on vampires. And when I say all in, I mean all in. And that's not going to happen all the time in sealed, okay?
Nope. Next up, we have Hallowed Respite.
Yeah, this is a white and a blue mana for a sorcery. Exile target non-legendary creature, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. If it entered under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Otherwise, tap it. It has flashback for 1 white blue.
Not even flashback can save this one.
I mean, like, what are you doing, though? Like, what are you doing?
You're tapping their creature. You're spending 2 mana at sorcery to tap their creature.
Or put a +1/+1 counter on your creature. I guess. It's not an instant, so you can't do that. You can't even use this in response to removal and be like, oh, blank your removal. You're just like, sorcery, I guess I put a +1/+1 counter on my creature.
I put a +1/+1 counter on my creature?
I don't know, man.
No.
If you have some sick enter the battlefield effects, that's the reason you're playing this. But like,
no.
I don't know.
No.
I have to see what it is.
Ooh.
Because otherwise I'm not interested.
I guess you can get back your things that were disturbed.
Yeah, you can have the worst side of the disturbed creature.
Yep. Next up is Pithing Needle, our good old friend. Sure to be seen a lot of this.
Oh yeah.
In constructed, but in sealed. Oh man, you're just gonna be real sad.
This is a single mana for as Pithing Needle enters the battlefield, choose a card name. Activated abilities of sources with the chosen name can't be activated unless they're mana abilities.
Yep.
What?
All right.
In sealed, it's just like, what?
Yeah, maybe you sideboard it in because they have something with a sick activated ability.
I guess.
But it's like, you're sad.
Really want
you're
to do
sad
that.
Because they have a better card and all you have is Pithing Needle.
Yeah. Next up, we've got some sick art here. Rite of Harmony. Green and a white for an instant. Whenever a creature or enchantment enters the battlefield under your control this turn, draw a card, flashback 2 green, white.
My real problem, right, is that like, you're probably not going to draw more than a card off of it.
Right, exactly. That's
the thing here, is that you're spending a card to get a card.
Which is just like not worth it generally. And it has flashback, so okay, but that flashback cost is 4 mana.
It's so high.
So like what are you gonna cast? A 2 mana spell? That's
and then you're on turn 6, you're drawing a card and casting a 2 mana creature?
I mean, like, shrug emoji.
Yeah. just not but the art?
Yeah,
really
here
cool.
For the art, for sure.
Really good. Oh, this next one makes me so sad.
Me too.
Because I love it.
It's so cool.
I want to see it.
I want to see it too.
But Hostile.
Oof.
It's just going to be pretty rough in your sealed pool.
You can tap it for a colorless mana.
Yeah, which it's already, like...
It's a land.
You're going to, like, mess with your mana a little?
Messing with your mana in sealed
bad idea.
Is not a good idea,
no,
everybody.
Not a good place to be.
You cannot underestimate the hit that your mana base takes from having a colorless land in it, okay?
Yeah, there's gonna be times when you need double green and instead you're gonna have this and a single green and you're gonna be like, wow.
Kind of sad.
But yeah, 1 tap, sacrifice a creature, put a soul counter on hostile. Then if there are 3 or more soul counters on it, remove those counters, transform it, then untap it. Activate only as a sorcery. Like, it is really cool, right? Because then you get the backside, Creeping In.
It's great.
Which is the 3/7 that whenever it attacks, you may exile a creature card from your graveyard. If you do, each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where X is the number of creature cards exiled with Creeping In. But it's still just like, it's just not good enough for all those creatures you're sacrificing.
Yeah, you have to be completely in on the sacrifice deck, which does exist in this format, to be able to do this, but it's going to take a long time.
Yeah.
Because it's got to tap every time it does it.
Yep.
You're going to have the things to be able to sacrifice.
Like, you have to have played the creatures, you have to have had this land out, you have to have had the mana to both tap, like, to sacrifice things. And activate only as a sorcery, so it's not like you can do it as like, oh, I block with it, and then I sacrifice it. Nope.
No.
It's just like straight up cost.
And it's going to take at least 3 turns to activate. And once you do, of course, it's a pretty sweet creature because it can phase out and protect itself and stuff.
Yeah.
But the setup cost, like we've mentioned a few times here now, very high.
Very high.
Coming up next, we've got a couple of creatures.
Yeah.
Good early, kind of sad late.
Yes. First up is Willow Geist. This is a single green for a 1/1. Trample. Whenever 1 or more cards leave your graveyard, put a +1/+1 counter on Willow Geist. When it dies, you gain life equal to its power.
All right, in Innistrad, you're messing around in the graveyard a lot.
You are messing around in the graveyard. We'll give you that. But like, if you play this early, great. It's going to be a solid, right? You'll have a 3/3, a 4/4, whatever if they don't kill it.
Exactly.
But what if you draw this late?
Then it's just probably just like a 1/1 with trample.
Like a 1/1.
Yeah, so you've got to figure this out when you build your deck, and keep in mind that this card is not going to be good in all stages of the game.
No.
Okay,
like a 1/1 for 1 is just bad. In sealed, right?
Yeah,
like, right.
Yeah.
It's not like in constructed. Maybe you're playing 4 of these. Your likelihood of playing it on turn 1 very high.
Yeah, exactly.
This card, single copy in your sealed pool, in your sealed deck. Like, your chances of playing it on turn 1 are not high.
If you are doing the green-black graveyard deck thing, I would still put this in your sealed pool, but don't expect it to be your #1 all-star.
Yeah.
And if you're not doing that, don't play it.
Yeah. If you're like werewolves.
No, absolutely not.
Red green. And in that same vein, next up, I'm sure we will see this in constructed.
Oh yeah.
But unlimited, no. Champion of the Perished.
Single black for a 1/1 once again.
It's just what we just said. A 1/1 for 1 is not good.
Whenever another zombie enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Champion of the Perished.
Like, okay, you're gonna be like, a bunch of you are gonna be like, what if I have a decayed deck that's making a bunch of zombie tokens? Great, I'm very happy for you. This card is still bad.
Happy for you.
I'm happy for you, but this card is still bad.
I will play it in a zombie deck. But like, once again, the exact same thing that we said about the previous creature.
It's not going to, like, right, if you open this card, you're not going to be like, oh, great, now I'm going to try and build a zombie deck.
No.
If you're doing that,
No, you've got to have the zombie deck already
and then you're
ready
like,
to go.
Oh, nice bonus.
Like,
I can play this Champion of the Parish.
Yeah.
And again, if you draw it early, nice. If you draw it on turn 6, you're going to be like, look at this 1/1.
Oh, I have a 1/1.
Look at this 1/1 for 1.
Yeah, so it's okay. So like, these are our last 2 cards. And like we said at the top of the video, you know, like, you can play them.
These are, for the most part, we have named very
few I would call completely unplayable. Like Curse of Silence, completely unplayable.
Don't do it.
Yeah, so like, this is a better list than we normally have.
Exactly. Will you play these? Very possibly, if you're already in these colors.
Yeah.
But people are going to be opening like Poppet Factory and you're going to be like, why is this my life?
Exactly. We're trying to help you.
Yes, they're going to have Poppet Factory and you're going to have Rite of Harmony and you're just going to be like, I'm sad.
I'm sad about this.
Yes.
So yeah, these are tips to help you in sealed for your pre-release and other sealeds that you'll play along the way. So just keep that in mind. There's tons of amazing cards in this set. We're so excited to play it.
Yeah.
We just want to help you out so you don't build around these cards in a way that is not healthy for you or your deck.
No. And if you have now been to your pre-release, tell us in the comments down below, what rares did you open?
Yeah.
We always love to hear from the people who are like, I opened every single one of these.
Aw,
congratulations to you.
Commiserations, everybody. We hope you have a great time playing Midnight Hunt at your pre-release. Super stoked for this set. Just, you know, try not to play these cards.